another one.
How hard will it be to land a QA engineering job? I want to find work in QA as an entry into software development. I'm currently about to finish my associate's degree in computer science. Unfortunately, bachelor's isn't possible yet due to life circumstances, but plan to pursue it later. I'm fairly good at Python and I have been using it for a few years now. I have strong front end skills, things like React, HTML, CSS, JavaScript, but I'm aware of how bad the web dev market is at the moment. Well, if you think the web dev market is bad, ooh, wait till you hear this answer. I plan to do some self learning of QA to prep myself. If anyone has some suggestions for learning, send them my way. Currently plan to use the roadmap.sh site and do some testing projects for my portfolio. Any advice would be lovely. So, shout out to Pluto because he sent me some roadmaps from the roadmap.sh site as well as their Discord. So I had no idea about that. And they have some really, really cool roadmaps over there. So I think that is a step in the right direction. But, let's start the clock. All right, here we go. So, like I said, if you think the web dev market is tough, welcome to the world of QA because guess what? In the world of QA, in the world of software development as a whole, you're going to find that the ratio of developers to QA is about 4 to 1, maybe it's 3 to 4 to 1, right? Um, and that means if you're on a web dev team, there might be you know 3 4 web developers and one QA person. So let's say when the developers are working on a ticket, you're like that you're that one QA engineer is going to be responsible for testing, like writing the test plan, automating, like doing the manual tests, writing the bugs and stuff like that, right? And in Agile, you can bring in the developers to help you as well if you use your resources the right way. But for you to to think that the web dev department is like the web dev is tough, but thinking that you're gonna have a better opportunity in QA, that's gonna be a tough sell. However, I can still answer your question. So I would say if you do not have any QA experience, right? Because I think it's amazing, absolutely amazing that you have strong front end skills. And I actually recommend now that the people who are interested in QA, you need to learn the tools or the languages that you're going to be using. You don't have to be an expert at them by any means, right? You don't have to be an expert, but you do need to I would say you should have a good understanding. Like if you're gonna on front end development and databases and some good understanding of backend as well, depending on if you're going to be working with APIs and stuff. So whatever you're going to be working on, you need to have a good understanding of it. It doesn't have to be as good as developers to have that understanding, but the reason that you want to have a good understanding is because it's going to make it easier for you to understand what you're testing. Back in the days, back in the days, a lot of QA people didn't have to be technical at all. They just had to be good at being able to navigate and find issues and report issues and stuff, get documentation skills. Well, that part hasn't changed. You still need to have all of those skills. The part that changes, and all right, I'm gonna be honest with you. You can blame me for this, right? You can definitely blame me for this. I came into QA with a lot of web development, like CSS, HTML, JavaScript understanding, and with a tech with a background in tech support. And forgot to get rid of this, but yeah, with a background in tech support, I was very good at troubleshooting, good at investigating and stuff like that. And I would always push further and further and further. So what now a lot more QAs because when I started, I don't even think there was a role QA engineer, right? But now the role QA engineer is something that's common. And automation is expected. So if you have a better understanding of what you're working on, you're going to be more effectively able to think about the risk, about able to troubleshoot, to able to read the code better, and navigate better, have more in-depth conversations, and not just sit around and wait for them to say, "Hey, this is ready to be tested," and then you start testing and writing your test cases. No, you can get involved at the very beginning and say, you can give suggestions, you can give ideas, you can push the project forward. You can put your thumbprint, your fingerprint on the state of the project because you can have more meaningful conversations with your scrum master, with your product owner, with your developer, with your backend developers, with your front end developers. So I would definitely say learn how APIs work. Learn about like I mean, you in particular, you like you said you have a front end, you have strong front end skills, which is great, which would help you. At the same time, you don't want to let your development skills go by the wayside. One of the reasons that I tend to favor software engineering, and that's why I do a lot of engineering and development on my own, because one, it keeps me learning, as well as it makes you dynamic enough that you can also freelance, you can also contract work, in addition to whatever work you actually get. So those are many things to consider, but definitely you want to take some comprehensive QA courses. Like they're readily available on Udemy. Take some comprehensive QA courses. Take some automation testing courses. Take some API testing courses, and that way it'll teach you like all the different stages of testing, all the different types of testing, how to write defects, how to write a test plan, how to log bugs in these tools. You also want to take a testing and agile course so you can understand like how does testing work in an agile environment. You want to take the API testing course so that you can find out how to properly test APIs, so that when you get into that position, you can hit the ground running, as well as you'll be able to have great conversations about it. So those are all of the different components that it's going to take. From what I've seen, because a lot of people come to me from boot camps or self learning and stuff like that. And you can even like even with my friend Jared from Calculus Coder, you can even see it. Like when we were doing the automation on his free mind recovery site, there were so many like things that were missing to properly be able to test it. And those are the things that, as like, there's no more entry level QA, especially in the United States. And when I say there's no more, I mean there's 99% chance you're not going to get it here in the United States. So you have to force yourself to be at least a mid level, especially when trying to transition, because it is so hard to get that entry level because there's so much competition for it. Everybody is looking for that entry level role, and barely anybody gets it. Like I said, there's a 4-to-1 ratio, right? So you need to go above and beyond to learn so much more to be able to land a QA job. And I think it's probably similar to for the web development and for the Java jobs. Not Java, but for the software, like the backend development jobs. So it's how did it to go in the movie? It's tough out here, So sorry to be the bearer of bad news, but it's possible. But it is going to be an uphill battle.
If you enjoyed the fascinating information shared in this video and you want more, be sure to hit the subscribe button to Tech Coach Ralph to be notified for new videos.